What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to go over a quick lap tires buyer guide for 2021, 2022, and I have 3.5 laptops here to kind of give you an idea of what you get for your money, where you may want to go, where you may not want to go. These are mainly going to be general use photo, video editing, not anything heavy. I wouldn't recommend editing C-Log on or S-Log on any of these, but you'll be able to do some light photo and video editing and just about anything that you'll want to do down the line with these. So I have all kinds of different price points. I'll kind of go over some other options too if you want to shop around, and I'll go over if you have a desktop on how you may not need a really expensive laptop just as your second computer. So the first option would just be to get an iPad Air. Or any type of iPad. This is an iPad Pro that I got for $500 from the outlet. So if you got this and you got like the Magic Keyboard or something like that, you could use this as a primary machine if you're not doing a lot of stuff that requires keyboard input. I don't find that this works very well for any type of heavy productivity stuff. Photo editing it does really good on. Video editing, I would never recommend this for video editing. It just is too, it's not that the processor's too slow, it's just the process is too slow. But you could get by with one of these, so that's $500. You get an iPad Air, even a refurbished iPad Air. You can get those $350 to $450 depending on what you get. I think this would be a great option if you're maybe you have a big powerful desktop and you don't want to spend a ton of money, and maybe you're just browsing around on the internet and doing some Instagram or anything like that, watching content. It's a great device for that. Lasts 10 hours. You put a decent case on it and it'll last you 4 or 5 years. My wife has a very old iPad, and she's had it for, I think it's an iPad Air Gen 2, maybe a mini Gen 2, I don't know. She's had it for like 5 years and it still works great. So the step up from that is going to be if you want something to maybe jump in and do a little bit more photo and video editing. You could use this as a main computer, but this is probably what I'd recommend as like a secondary computer if you're doing any type of creative content type stuff. If you're just browsing the web, even doing some light photo editing, some light video editing, this would handle it big time. And I would recommend, this is actually a 2016 MacBook Pro, but I would recommend any of the M1 MacBooks. Specifically one of the Airs, because sometimes they go on sale new for $849, or you can get them refurbished from Apple directly for $849 all the time. I think those are steals, so I'd recommend one of the M1 MacBook Airs, mainly for they're just easy to use, great battery life. There's no fans in there, so you won't have to worry about anything dying. So it would be a really good option if you want to get in that budget price point. If you want to go Windows route, XPS 13, any of the ThinkPad, like the X1 Carbon, you can get those for $600, $700, $800 in Lenovo's outlet. They still come with a 1-year warranty, so I would recommend going that route too if you're wanting to get under $1,000 for a machine. But M1 Air, any of the ThinkPads, Dell XPS 13 is another great option. You can get those new for under $1,000, but I would check the refurbished, check the Dell outlet also for that, see what kind of deals you can get. So that's what I'd recommend in that price point. If you're doing any type of heavier creative content, I would probably step up for a little bit, something a little bit beefier. And this will get us kind of the $1,000 to $1,500 range, and that's going to get us into probably, this is the ThinkPad, this is a P1 Gen 2, 6-core Intel, 2 NVMe slots, all kinds of customizability. It does have a Quattro T100 graphics card, or T1000. You can get the X1 Extreme, and you can get a 3060 in this. I think it goes all the way to 3080 now, I believe. I'd have to double check that. But I picked this up new for about $1,300 during one of the holiday sales. You can get these all day, refurbished, straight from Lenovo. You can even get new ones from the Lenovo outlet for under $1,500 for a pretty good spec'd out one. You can upgrade the memory, you can upgrade the SSD, there's all kinds of options there. It has all the ports you need. It has USB-C, it has regular USB, it has SD card. These are built like a tank, so I've dropped this from a desk multiple times. This will withstand a beating, and I have found that Lenovo's customer support is actually improving. In the last couple times I've used it, I've had pretty good luck with it. And it's a depot, so if you have any type of warranty issues, I have a Micro Center really close. You can take it to them, they'll fix it. I don't trust them, so I would probably send it right back to Lenovo. But this is a great option. Same with the Dell XPS 15. You can get those pretty easily under $1,500. And these would be primary machines, so these would be something that you could use as a standalone photo, video editing. It's not going to be as fast as a desktop, especially one that has, mine has like a 10-core 980 Ti, so you can really push stuff out, but they're really made to last. So I think if you get one of the Dell XPS models or one of the Thinkpad, the P1 and the X1 Extreme are the ones I'd probably recommend the most. There's other ones out there. There's some HPs, there's all kinds of different options, but those are the ones I've had the most luck with over the long term. And if you check Lenovo's outlet, you can get some really good deals on those. And they'll do, so you can do some light gaming on these, not anything heavy, but you can do that just because of how they're pretty thin machines. So next is something that I would recommend if you're wanting to do no desktop, something that can do everything, even some heavier lifting, some heavier photo editing, video editing, probably do some CAD work on it. I don't mess with CAD stuff, but you could probably do just about anything you want. And that is one of the new MacBook Pros, MacBook Maxes, whatever you want to call it. The M1 Pro, M1 Max. This is a base model 14-inch, which is $2,000, but it's already on sale for $1,899 through Adorama and I think B&H, so you could probably get this for $849 around the holidays if you try. This thing is an absolute beast. I've done a little bit of photo editing on it, and it is the fastest machine I've ever used. It's not, well, maybe not the fastest laptop I've ever used. It's not quite as fast as my desktop, but that's not really fair, I don't think. But it is lightning fast. So if you have $2,000, this is what I'd recommend. Even the base model, you get 512 gigabytes of storage, you get 16 gigabytes of RAM. The only negative is if you need more storage, but I would recommend, you can get cheap servers right now. You can get a NAS and get some hard drives and make your own server for I think the upgrade for this, like a terabyte, it's like $400 or $500. You can build your own server for that easily and have more storage than that, and have a RAID setup, so it's a little bit safer. So that's what I would recommend there. If you want to spend a little bit more, you could get the 16-inch, which is what I would actually get. If I didn't have a desktop, I would get the 16-inch over one of the 14-inch. But the Apple M1 Pro, M1 Max chips are just, they're way better than a lot of what Intel has some new stuff coming out, don't get me wrong, but 10 hours of battery life plus easy on this. And my ThinkPad has about this, it has a lower wattage battery, or higher wattage battery, and I get anywhere between 2 hours and 8 hours. It has a mind of its own. There's sometimes where it lasts for a long time, and sometimes it just dies. And I don't do anything heavy on this. Some very light photo editing and just browsing around, but I don't do anything heavy on that at all. So that's what I would recommend there. Get one of the new MacBooks. I would probably get AppleCare with it. Maybe subscribe to it yearly, since you can do it for basically the life of the machine now, just because these are not really something that's easy to fix. The battery is supposedly easier to replace, but this is not something that you're going to be able to fix very easily. The ThinkPad, you can literally take this whole thing apart with a Phillips screwdriver and put it back together, replace parts easily. This is one big silicone with everything on it. So if you get AppleCare, you get a little bit of peace of mind, and if you spill water on it or something, you have that accidental coverage. So that's it. That's a quick buyer's guide. There's better ones out there. If you're into gaming, I don't know anything about gaming. The Alienware laptops I've used before in the past and were good. I think Dell has a G15 version that's pretty good. Lenovo's Legion, I hear, is supposed to be pretty good also. Don't get a Mac for gaming. I would not recommend that, but any of those I think would be good options. So that's it. Personally, I would get probably the M1 MacBook Air or MacBook Pro from the Apple outlet and be done with it. And $850, you're going to get a really good machine. So that's it. Comments, questions, leave them below. This may not be useful for a lot of people. May help some. I don't know. And see you guys next video. I don't know what video I'm going to do next. We'll figure it out. Have a good rest of the day, guys.